everyone, and welcome to Global Outlook. I'm Mary Sitt. On today's show, we'll get a preview of HCC's newest campus, where students can start in Katy and finish in Katy. Here to tell us more is Dr. Zachary Hodges. He is the president of HCC Northwest College, which includes both the Spring Branch campus and the Katy campus. Thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Hodges.
Great to be here again, Mary. Always good to see you.
Tell me about this new campus. Why are we doing a new campus?
Well, first of all, it was an opportunity. The University of Houston, Katy bought land over at the intersection of 99 Grand Parkway and Interstate 10 in that new area, and invited us to, consider coming over and doing the first 2 years of their 4-year degree program, a real innovative kind of approach to higher ed, good for the community, good for students. So we'll be moving our campus, which is located off of Fry Road, in May, or a little bit before May, and to this new campus, which we are so proud of, and I think represents a 21st century approach to higher education that students are really going to be able to relate to.
So Dr. Hodges, this is not the first time, this is not HCC's first foray into Katy. You've been in Katy for 40 years, but yes, at a different campus in an office building, right?
Well, it's funny, we've been moving west. We started in Park 10, and then we moved to Fry Road, and now we're moving to the Grand Parkway and Interstate 10. So it's an exciting time. As we know, that area is booming. Accessibility is a big deal, and students will be able to get up and down the Grand Parkway or back and forth from Katy. And instead of driving into Houston to get a degree from the University of Houston, they'll be able to stay right where they are in the area and
just park across the street, right?
Yeah, the street, absolutely.
So this, how did you forge this partnership with Systems and HCC? So you have that location, so the proximity and all that.
Yeah, we've always had a good relationship with the University of Houston. They had the West Houston campus off of Mason Road for a while. We taught classes there. When they sold that, we hosted them at our campus now. And then also the engineering program has blossomed in the Katy area. We have a new engineering academy. So, U of H is a partnership between the University of Houston main campus, U of H Victoria, and School of Nursing. And then we're going to fold right in, across the street, starting in May, in the mini term, we're going to fold right in and offer those courses at the freshman and sophomore level, and students can walk across the street, get their junior and senior level work at U of H.
That's wonderful. So you said the ribbon cutting will be in May, is that right?
Yeah, sometime in May. We're confirming the chancellor's schedule and getting all our dignitaries lined up. But I see the first part of May. We've got to do it because we're moving, the campus will be finished in March. Furniture will be here in April, and we expect the first mini term, which is a 3-week term, between the spring semester and summer semester for students. We expect that to be kind of our initial offerings there, and then we'll be full bore in the summer.
It's on 24 acres, is that right? It's a beautiful building.
Yes.
Is it one big building, or do you have multiple buildings there?
One big building. The entire first floor is really a student experience, a new experience. We're expecting students, our new students, to come in, be welcomed in. We're going to have a real focus on active learning and teamwork, and really using the engineering model to engage students in a new way. Whether they're new students seeing an advisor, we want to engage them in a new way, or whether they're in their new classes. So I really want everybody to come to that campus, because you're going to tell there's something different going on.
Well, we look at the artist rendering on the website, and it is just a beautiful building. It looks great. I would love to be a student there. Can you tell me give me a sense of how many different subjects will be offered and how many professors will be teaching there?
Yeah, primarily academics.
Okay.
The first 2 years of a traditional program to help students get ready for any major going into their junior and senior level. We'll also be offering some data information systems, cybersecurity, unique programs like that, certificate programs in digital information, agriculture. We're going to have an agriculture classroom. We will retain our EMT program there because that program serves for training for all EMTs in West Harris County. So we'll be offering that there. And then again, ESL kinds of classes. We have a huge diverse population in the Katy area. They want to learn English. And so we'll be offering those classes. So
Dr. Hodges, you know, recent reports show that college enrollment has actually declined 3.2% nationwide year over year during this pandemic. How does HCC plan to address that in terms of recruiting students and retaining them?
Well, unfortunately, our average age per student is 27. So those very students that were the most impacted by COVID because they had kids in school, employment, and so forth, higher education for them is not their highest priority. You know, so we have lost those students, and then hopefully on the, you know, they were on the back end of the COVID crisis, and where people can regain, you know, some stability in their lives and re-enter higher education. It's a national trend, though. So
I mean, is that scary for community colleges?
I think it's a challenge. I think we have to adapt to online learning in a new way, new certificate programs. You know, we're responsible for creating the 21st century workforce for Houston and for Texas. So community colleges have to step up to the plate and offer something that's relevant and welcome our students back mainly.
You know, we read about the Great Resignation and people who are just quitting jobs. They're tired of working at a high risk, meaning with COVID going on, job at low pay. Is this an opportunity for community colleges to step in and say, hey, come train with us. We can get you trained and certified and out there at a higher paying job. Those
students are going to need a new skill set. If they want a higher wage, it's going to have to be through training. And that's going to be offered at the community college. So that's our niche. That's what's going to bring the students back in all workforce areas, but especially in the high tech areas. If you want a better job, you've got to get trained in today's economy.
What has been the most exciting aspect of this whole new Katy campus for you?
I think it's really to be able to open my vision of what higher education is becoming and what I've learned throughout my 26 years as college president, to put really my stamp on the future. And this is going to be a unique facility. It's going to be a campus on rollers. Campus occurs not only in the classroom, but
wait, what do you mean by campus on rollers?
Campus on rollers. If you don't like the configuration of the room, then you move it around. If you want to move,
so you can actually physically move things around.
Absolutely, everything's going to be portable and move computers in, move computers out, move the tables around, interact in a small group, in a larger group, open it up to the community.
We're running out of time. In the next 30 seconds, Dr. Hodges, tell me, what is your vision for the future of community college education?
My vision is to engage students in a new, creative way that's relevant to them, that creates the skill sets we need for the 21st century. And then to create access and opportunity for them to Zoom, for them to thrive in that environment and be adaptable and flexible.
And if you want to know what that looks like, go out to the Katy campus.
Absolutely. And enroll in something. I'll be there. I'll welcome you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your being on.
Appreciate you, Mary.
Coming up next, a student from Angola tells us how she survived and thrived here at HCC. Stay with us.
Frame your future with HCC. Enroll today for spring classes.
Today, I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
It's really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But I get it, you're busy, and busy people can't have prediabetes. I read that wrong. They can, okay? Just go to the site.
La forma en la que ves tus opciones puede cambiar en un minuto. Houston Community College te ayuda a encontrar tu camino con más de 200 programas que te abren oportunidades a puestos de trabajo. Inscríbete hoy para las clases de primavera y enfoca tu futuro con HCC.
Our next guest is an international student from Angola. Marta Sambo is studying here at HCC. She's studying computer information systems. Thank you so much for being with us, Marta.
Thank you, Mary. It's my honor to be here.
Tell me, how did you decide to come to HCC for your studies?
Actually, I didn't decide. It was my sister decide for me because she found, she found HCC cheaper compared to other community college, and also my sister, she studied at HCC, so she know all the system.
So she just said, you're going to do it. I imagine it's your older sister, right?
Yeah.
You come from a family of 9 siblings, right? Tell me about your
Yeah.
family and your life back in Angola a little bit.
I came from a big family. I have 9 siblings. So my dad, he works from Chevron. My mom, she's a nurse. And everything was really good. I had to left Angola because we have their lack of education. So my dad decided to come here so I can have a good education.
And you decided to go into computers. And did you always like computers when you were a little kid? You played around with that kind of thing? Or how did you decide computer information systems?
It's just my first time. I like to try new things. So actually, I want to go to do computer science. That's why I decided to.
And what has been your experience so far at HCC?
It has been a good experience because HCC staff is very supportive. That helped me a lot. Always when I need help, they are there for me. So it's really good experience being HCC.
Have there been more courses that are difficult? And if they are, who do you go to for help?
Yes, programming classes are really difficult because it's my first time having programming classes. And I have friends of mine that are always there to help me because they are programmers, so it's more easier.
So your friends help you. So that's another point. Was it hard to make friends at HCC, or is that a big effort that you knew you had to reach out to other people in order to feel more comfortable?
Actually, it was not hard because every person were really kind at HCC. It was very easy to make friends. I can say I made friends less than a week when I came here. Yeah.
That's great. What has it been like during the pandemic? I mean, you had to study offline, just online for a while, right?
Yeah, it was really hard because it was my first time being online. I was not used to the system being online because I like more to study in person. Is better to getting with the professor, everyone, and being online is really, really complicated for me.
Yeah, plus, especially if English is not your first language, you miss that body language. It's a little harder to communicate, right? But you're doing it, and you're doing it well. Tell me, what are your career goals?
My career goal is to become a data analyst, and I also want to become a real estate agent.
A what?
Real estate agent.
Oh, a real estate agent. That's nice. It helps supplement your income from your data analyst job. Do you want to go back to your country and work, or do you want to stay here and work, or have you thought about that yet?
Yeah, I will go back and work in my country.
So you're going to do 2 years here, and you want to go to another university, University of Houston, maybe, to complete your degree?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So what has been your biggest challenge studying at HCC?
The biggest challenge is to be a great student, first of all, because I know what brings me here. So I really want to be a great student. So I have to study a lot, doing so many research. This is the biggest challenge that I have here.
So tell me a little about your study routine so you can help other students who may be watching this. What have you learned in order to be successful?
Because first of all, I have a schedule to study. After I have class, I have to take like an hour break. After that, I have to study for at least 1 hour twice a week. That's helped me a lot because I cannot overwhelm myself. Yeah.
Do you also work too? So you work and go to school, or you just go to school full time?
No, I just go to school.
And that takes up all your time. So what sort of advice would you give other international students to help them be successful?
The advice that I will offer to international students is just to be active, make a good network, and make sure to join student association that will help anyone to develop their skills.
Okay, so make sure you have a good network. And how do you do that exactly?
Just meet with people is also good. Different people who works, it will help for you.
And I noticed something you told me earlier, don't just hang around people who speak your language. Force yourself to be with other people, right? And interact in English, is that right?
Yeah, because being with people who speak the same language with you will be hard to you to learn English, first of all. So you need to be open-minded to make new friends, to meet different people, so you can also practice your English.
Well, yours is excellent. Did you already know English pretty well? You knew it before you came here, right?
No, I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything.
Really?
Yeah.
So in 2 years? You've been here how long?
2 years. Yeah.
Your English is really excellent. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
Well, the best of luck and with your studies. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coming up next, an international tennis star raises awareness about a deadly cancer, and a local organization does the same. Stay with us.
What does moving forward look like? Houston Community College has hundreds of choices. Small class sizes and personalized support to help you do just that. Enroll today for spring classes and frame your future with HCC.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
La forma en la que ves tus opciones puede cambiar en un minuto. Houston Community College te ayuda a encontrar tu camino con más de 200 programas que te abren oportunidades a puestos de trabajo. Inscríbete hoy para las clases de primavera y enfoca tu futuro con HCC.
Tennis star Evert recently revealed that she has ovarian cancer stage 1. She's undergoing chemotherapy and expects to recover. And she said she revealed this news in order to raise awareness of this deadly cancer. Our next guest is also doing the same thing, raising awareness of ovarian cancer. Runsi Sen is the president and CEO of Ovarcome. She is also the founder. She founded the organization in 2009 after her mother died of ovarian cancer. A graduate of Rice University, Runsi has an MBA in marketing and strategy. She also holds a master's degree in economics, and she serves as an advisory board member of the Blanton Davis Ovarian Cancer Program at MD Anderson. Runsi, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Mary, for having me. It's my honor to be here today.
Ovarcome exists by the way, it's its 10th year, so happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you so much.
Educate and fund research and to help cancer patients. Tell me some of the highlights that you've achieved in 2021, last year.
So 2021 has been a great year for Ovarcome, not only because we transitioned a lot of things because of COVID, but also because we hit some very good milestones, in the sense that now I can proudly say that our reach has expanded way beyond, even the city, the state, to nation and beyond. So now we truly have become a global organization where our social media reach in 2021 has been tremendous, in the sense that we surpassed over 1.75 million subscribers and visitors all across the globe that have
that's amazing
that have followed.
That's your marketing degree in there.
I would actually argue that's our heart in there, in the sense that we serve with so much of sincerity that people pick it up, they understand, and that I feel that that's the main reason why they follow. And also we like you mentioned, it is our 10th year, so there are new programs that are also launching this year. So we also launched a few new programs start of COVID in 2020, one of them being Connect Over Coffee, the other being OC 360 Live. All these programs are virtual, but what it does, it gives that information platform to all our followers worldwide that are always looking for the latest and the greatest advances in ovarian cancer. So we have provided that. And then, of course, our research initiatives and the research funding that we support for our young investigators that have continued.
How much money do you give every year, Runsi, to
that varies. That depends on where our priorities are for the particular year. For the last 2 years, I would say that it has been around the $25,000 range. And the reason why is we allocated majority of our funds, if you will, towards patient care, because we felt like that was the focus that needed to be for the last 2 years, because many of our overcomers lost their jobs or their family members lost income. Right. So we helped them through our Overcare program, which is our financial and psychosocial assistance program. So that really saw a very large increase in terms of the number of applications we received. So we reallocated funding towards our patient care. We came up with a chemo care program.
It's called Embrace Chemo Care.
It's called Embrace, and it is envisioned by our 11, now going to 12-year-old overcomer, Katy. So we kind of focused on that for the last couple of years versus our research funding, but it still remains one of our priorities. And I feel that in 2022, hopefully when things go back to normal, we will refocus on that a little more.
But still, 25,000 is a nice grant if you're a researcher, right? I mean,
it is. Yeah. It is, and especially for the young investigators who are just starting out, I mean.
So I want to ask you this. I noticed that you say young investigators. That's on the website too. Why young? I mean, why is that? There must be a reason that you're gearing this money towards the young researchers starting out.
Right. So the reason why we do this is because, for one, the advisors on our board, they have basically, told us that young investigators who are just starting out and in their career, and they have so much promise and so much work that they're putting into, we need to support this next generation of investigators who are doing groundbreaking work and encourage them. And many of them are actually involved in the early detection of ovarian cancer research, which we are so passionate about. So these are one of the two reasons why we fund young investigators, to encourage them to support their work, and also because we are passionate about early detection, and that's where many of them are.
Runsi, there's still there's no test to early detect ovarian cancer, correct?
No, there still isn't, and they are still working towards it. And the CA 125 still remains the gold standard of testing in ovarian cancer. But as we know, it's really
not a test. It's really supposed to be a marker, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it is really not very effective for women for screening. They are, it is like you said, it is a marker. Screening. So it is for women who already have ovarian cancer, it can detect, but not for screening. So we're not there yet.
Right. So I read that I was reading about Chris Evert, and she said that her sister unfortunately passed away from ovarian cancer at age 62 or something, pretty young.
Yes.
And so Chris got a hysterectomy as a preventative measure. So she didn't really know if she had it or not, but her sister died from it. So she said, right. And then it was after the hysterectomy, they discovered a tumor. That's how she found out that she's in very early stage 1.
Right.
Which is a pretty bad way to find out, actually. I mean, it's better than not finding out, but really we don't have a way to screen or find out. Can you tell me, before we go further, what are the symptoms that one should, be aware of, so you can immediately go to the doctor if you have these symptoms?
Yes, but before I go to the beach symptoms that we have, I will briefly mention that Chris has the Brca mutation, so she carries that genetic mutation that she, her family has it, so she was predisposed to this risk. She was at a higher risk. Yes. So, but in her case is really positive in the sense, as you said. I mean, her cancer got detected early, which means that the survival rate is going to be much higher. She'll be in best hands. So we are sending all our best wishes to Chris, but we are very very hopeful that this will be good for her. And now going back to your question on the symptoms, so we came up with an acronym called BEACH. So we all love BEACH, and BEACH is easy to remember, but it actually stands for, B stands for bloating, E stands for early satiety or feeling full quickly, A stands for abdominal and or pelvic pain, C stands for changes in your bowel or bladder habits, and H stands for heightened fatigue. So these are all the main symptoms of ovarian cancer. So we used to call it silent disease, but it really isn't silent in the sense that it has all these symptoms and more. And so I urge women and, everyone listening, not just the women, the family members, who take care of our women, is that if any of these symptoms happen and they're persistent, which means 2 to 3 weeks and more, they're not going away despite some of the things you have tried, it's time for you to go to get a checkup with your doctor and kind of discuss what is.
Do you need to have more than one symptom to be alarmed? Like you have 2 out of these symptoms or 2 out of 5, or just even one? Yeah,
that's a really good question, because as you can see, all these BEACH symptoms, if you take them individually, all of them are so vague. It's like no anyone, any day, at the end of a busy day, all of us are fatigued.
We're all tired.
All of us are tired. That's right. But the point is, even if you're like, one of our survivors told us this very specifically, that she had no symptoms other than the fatigue, in the sense that even if she would take a nap in the afternoon, even if she would, take more time to rest, the fatigue never went away. So it really, even if it's one symptom, it is going to be different from what you are But
then Runsi, let's say you have a couple of symptoms and you go to the doctor, but there's no way for them to screen it. So what do? How do they tell if you have it or not?
That's where the onus, still falls on the patient or the woman or anyone with ovarian cancer to advocate for themselves and push for a solution if they feel that the doctor is not responding to their repeated complaints. And that is also another thing that we hear from all our survivors all the time, that we kept going to the doctor, but they just didn't listen, and they just kind of pointed it to vague symptoms. But this is where we need your voice to keep advocating for yourself. And one thing I will mention also here is one of my very big learnings of 2021 and 2022 is, we always say women have ovarian cancer, until I met with a transgender person who called it out and said, well, anyone with ovaries could have ovarian cancer. It's not just women. So I want to put it out there and make sure that we understand, we are more inclusive in our messaging, that anyone with ovaries could have ovarian cancer. It's not just the women that we are talking about.
That's a very good point. Thank you so much, Runsi Sen. And we can read more about this on your website, Ovarcome.org, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary, for having me.
That's all for this edition of Global Outlook. I'll see you again on Comcast Channel 19 every Friday and Sunday at 7:30 a.m. and p.m. plus Saturday at 10 a.m. Or you can download a podcast to go on our website, hccs.edu/podcasts, or watch the full video version anytime on HCC's YouTube channel. I'm Mary Sitt. I'll see you again next time.